Then I started wrestling here, and I met Wild Red Barry in Joplin, Missouri.
Right.
He was home on a holiday, and when he saw me, he went back and told Vince McMahon Sr. and Toots Mondt about this young kid back here that was going to be a star. And so I'm down in Wichita Falls, Texas, at a 4-H barn arena. Didn't even have a telephone. Didn't even have bathrooms in the dressing room. Nasty, filthy place wrestling. The cops came and got me. Said I had an emergency call, and I thought, gee whiz, something must be wrong with my parents. When I got there, the number they gave me was in Washington, D.C., and it was Vince McMahon and Toots Mondt, and they said, Wild Red Barry says you're going to be a star. We want you. We want you to be on TV next Thursday in Washington. I said, well, you'll have to call Mr. McGurk and ask him. They said, you just get your bags packed. We'll take care of Mr. McGurk. So when I saw Leroy the next day, he said, you're on the way to Washington. So I went to Washington, and that's where I started my career back east, and I didn't even understand it. They'd had me on 5 TVs a week. I'm starving to death. And Red Barry took me and let me live in his apartment with him because he said, they're making you a star. You don't even realize it. And so that's what happened. And that's where I got started there. And the first big match I had was with Killer Kowalski in Washington, D.C. It was a 20-minute Broadway, and we tore the joint down, and that made me a star to go 20 minutes Broadway with Killer Kowalski. That's how big a star he was. But we had a phenomenal, and Vince and them were there. They booked Killer and I everywhere. I think we went against each other 4 times in Washington, D.C. And so that's what happened. And then, of course, I met Bruno Sammartino.
You just ended the tennis record at MSG.
Yeah, and Bruno Sammartino was a different human being. He was truly, I don't say was, he is so high quality. He is such a phenomenal guy. He had such a feel for people, and we just became instant friends, and we tag teamed for about a year. Then we came up with an angle that set all box office records, and it was Bruno Sammartino was really an important person in my life.
Why did you leave that promotion?
I always believed in leaving on top. And I'd done what I thought I needed to do there, and so I wanted to go other places. I guess I had this yearning to learn more, not realizing, and I never realized at that point I was going to be a promoter. So I went back and went to work for Roy Shire.